with the disciples. They're in this boat and a terrible storm comes up, and they're all in a little bit of a panic mode, and they look across the water, and at first they think they've seen a spook, a ghost. And Peter looks, he says, no, I think that's Jesus. And then he says to Jesus, Jesus, if that is you, bid me, tell me to come to you if it's really you. And so Jesus says, come on, Peter. He gives them a word. He gives them an instruction. He says, come on, it's me, come on. And then he waits to see. He does not step up there and help Peter out of the boat. He's not going to help you to be obedient. He's going to wait for you to be obedient. And so Peter, by faith, gets out of the boat and he steps on that word, come to me. And he begins to walk on the water, very carefully moving towards Jesus by faith, doing something that nobody else has ever done before. While the others were sitting in the boat having a committee meeting about why he shouldn't be out there walking on the water, he was doing what Jesus told him to do. But what happened? What happened when he chose to be obedient? He took his eyes off of Jesus and he flipped on CNN and he flipped on the bad news. I don't know what you have here in Malta, but he flipped on the news and he started focusing on the economy and the politics and you know what I'm saying? What's happening in Barcelona and all over the world. And before he knew it, he began to sink. And he cries out to Jesus, save me. And only then does Jesus reach out and pull him and help him into the boat. In other words, what I'm saying is that he waits for us to be obedient before he begins to bless us. Think about the fella that was blind. He spat in the sand, he mixed up some mud and put it in his eyes, and then he said, go and wash in the pool of Siloam. Can you imagine that? Well, I can't see. Now I really can't see. Where is the pool? No, he just, in obedience, he went to the pool of Siloam and he began to wash. And at first, he saw people, he saw men as they were trees. As time went on, so his sight and his focus came back. There was something he had to do. The woman that had the issue of blood, spent all her money for how many years? 12 years she'd been to every Tom, Dick and Harry doctor that was in town. Went to all the specialists. Went to everybody she could find. Spent all her money. And still she was sick. And I believe that the Holy Spirit whispered into her heart one day, Jesus is in town, and if you can just reach out and touch the hem of his garment, something will happen. Something will happen to you if you can do that. And so she presses through the crowd one morning when Jesus is in the square, and she squeezes through, and eventually, and the commentaries say that she managed to touch, it wasn't actually the hem of his garment, but it was the tassel from his prayer belt. And when she touched that healing power of God went through and into that woman's body, and bingo, she was healed under the power and the anointing of Jesus. To such an extent that Jesus said, who touched me? The disciples looked at him and said, are you Looney Tunes, Jesus? Look at all the people around you. There's 5,000 people here. Everybody's pressing up against you. How can you ask a question like, who touched me? He said, no, something happened. And that poor little woman was scared to death when he said, who touched me? And eventually she said, I'm the one. That's all right, honey. Your faith has made you whole. You acted in obedience to the Spirit of God that brought you to me. Are we together so far?
Amen.
How are we doing on time, Sherry? Hallelujah. Let's stick with the plan here. The fishermen, they out there all night fishing. They caught nothing. Jesus is standing on the shore. He says, what have you caught? Well, we've been out here all night and they're just not biting. They're not in the nets. We're just not catching anything. And he says to them, take your net and toss it out on the other side. And I can see Peter thinking, now